Well, I was on the board of my kid's school during COVID. I wanted a harsher lockdown policy, and in retrospect, I was wrong. The damage to kids of keeping them out of school longer was greater than the risks. But here's the bottom line. Myself, our great people, the CDC, I'd like to thank the governor, we were all operating with imperfect information, and we were doing our best. So
well,
let's learn from it. Let's learn from it. Let's hold each other accountable. But let's bring a little bit of grace and forgiveness in the shit show that was COVID.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this guy. First of all, I do want to commend him for at least apologizing in his own way, even though, how far it goes, we'll see. Children were set back incredibly, and the ones that were already struggling the most were set back even further than the others, right? So I'm not sure how much, this lip service is going to be. What happened from my perspective, what happened during the COVID times was a simple case of fear and an illustration of how fear is the mind killer. The famous quote from Dune, right? Fear is the mind killer. People in a fearful state have an inability to critically think, right? And that's what happened. This is why it's a good idea to never watch the mainstream media and never listen to politicians, because that's all they know how to do. That's their main manipulative tactic to get what they want. And what they wanted was money, power, and control. And boy, did they get it. Go do some research and look at the billions. I've heard ballpark 41 billion. Who will ever really know? 41 billion, X billion was transferred from the lower and middle class up to the upper 1% or less than 1%. That's some straight up bullshit. Let's talk about the power and control that was transferred to government. That's also some straight up bullshit, right? This was a scam. It's all you can call it, is a scam. And I don't care if people don't see it or do see it. I look at the results. What are the results? Like, what actually did happen when the dust settled? Well, game pieces were moved around, money was moved around, and it's over here now. So call it what you will, and now we know that all of the protocols that these public health officials and good people at the CDC were doing was complete and total bullshit. Didn't need to be done. None of it needed to be done. But people took to it because they were so afraid. We were all afraid. Some people acted differently than others. And this is also a prime example of the age-old adage, you don't know that people are like tea bags. You don't know what they're going to do till you put them into hot water. Some people lost their shit. Other people didn't. Speaking as a person who didn't go as crazy as some people did, the whole thing was, for me, is I know media and government is full of shit and lying to me. I'm not saying I wasn't afraid. I'm not saying that at all. And that I didn't wash my hands and, that I didn't practice some degree of social distancing when I was in the, real thick of it, when they were hammering us real hard. But I will say this, overarching theme for the people that didn't lose their shit was this idea that, the media is usually full of shit and government is usually full of shit and either incompetent or corrupt. So I'm just going to go not take what they say too seriously. And especially when they come out with a solution. You got to be freaking kidding me. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Ronald Reagan said it, my friends. Government doesn't solve problems, they create them. And if you have any ability to look at history, you know that right up. So we do have to move forward. We do have to heal. And it sucks because now we can't talk about it because what happened was families and friendships were splintered because of the bullshit. And that was their game plan. Divide and conquer is their game plan. They want more money, power, and control. They want to have their way with us. We know the New World Order is in play. How do you do that? You divide and conquer. You divide families. You divide friendships, right? You divide groups of people and nations. Then you win. So it sucks that we now have to come back together and heal, not only as a nation, but as humanity. But in order to do that, we got to talk about it. And this is good when this guy's coming up here and saying, hey, I was wrong. Thank you to this man. Because when we're wrong, we're wrong. right? We have to admit, and if you watched my prior 2 videos on Mr. Donald Trump, it appears I was wrong, and I may have been wrong about that as new information emerges. Go check them out. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and until next time, I wish you all the best health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.